We shall commence this module by discussing about double taxation in brief. A modern state tries to tap all possible sources to meet the ever increasing needs for funds. With the extension of the functions of modern welfare state, they are under persistent pressure to spread a wide as possible their net tax so that the revenues are raised to meet their needs. Now, every state has to take recourse to a system of multiple taxation, not only to raise the maximum revenue, but also to make tax as equitable and possible. Thus, in this tax system, almost every taxpayer is subject to double or multiple taxation. A tax system that depends on number of taxes is called system of multiple taxes. It means that several kinds of taxes are imposed in the system of multiple taxation. Some taxes are levied on and paid by those who carry certain possessions or trade. Others may be paid by property owners and yet those who purchase certain commodities. These taxes are shifted and reshifted, and ultimately their money burden and real burden are diffused over the society in one or other way. The term double taxation is used in public economics in a restricted sense. It implies that the taxation of the same thing or the same base twice or more in the same period. It does not mean taxation of the same man twice. According to Professor J. K. Mehta, double taxation means the taxing of a person twice by two authorities in the same way, that is on the same thing, or the taxing of the same base twice by the same authority. After studying this module, you shall be able to understand the meaning of taxation twice and desirability of double taxation, understand double taxation by two competing countries and solution to the problem of double taxation, understand Indian policy with respect to DTAA. Let us understand the meaning of taxing twice first. The major types of double taxation under single taxing authority are as follows. The property can be taxed on the basis of its income yielded from it and also again on the basis of its capital value. Here the property is subjected to tax twice. The income can be taxed when it is received at the same time it is spent. A tax can be imposed on the corporate profits and also from the dividends by the shareholders. Here the shareholders are subjected to tax twice. A tax may be imposed on the person who receives income and from whom it is received. Next, we will discuss the desirability of double taxation. The desirability of double taxation can be analyzed on two grounds, one from the point of equity and the second from the point of burden of tax. Here taxpayers do not support double taxation because it creates injustice, because if all the citizens were taxed twice, then no one will bother, but when some people are taxed twice and others left out, automatically that is injustice or discrimination. If everybody is taxed twice on the same thing and in the same way, then it makes no difference. But if one man has to pay tax twice on the same thing and the other man once, then it discriminates against the first man. It does not conform to the principle of ability to pay. Hence, it is said in case of double taxation, the tax system as a whole may not achieve any equity between taxpayers and thus it violates the principle of taxation. It should be also noted that double taxation is condemned because it does some injustice to the payer, otherwise double taxation has no fault in itself. Thus, Professor J. K. Mehta said that since double taxation involves inequity, we want to do away with it. Another possibility is that though the tax system as a whole achieves equity, the tax burden may be too heavy due to double or multiple taxation. In such a case, it is objected from the point of view of burden of taxation or its weight, but there is no defect from the point of view of the theory of taxation. The remedy lies on the reduction of taxation and expenditure to a level as directed by the principles of public finance. Now we will understand the forms of double taxation. Double taxation can be placed into two broad categories. Double taxation by two competing authorities. Double taxation due to the same taxing authority taxing the same thing twice. If there are two governments either within the same country or in different countries and they both levy income tax on a person, then it becomes a case of double taxation by two competing authorities. Double taxation due to plurality of taxing authorities occurs either in a federation or as between the different independent countries. International double taxation arises partly because it is in the national interest to extract taxes from the foreigners, thereby increasing the national welfare at the expense of the others, and partly because these taxes are levied on the basis of origin as well as that of domicile. Person whose income originates in one country and who are domiciled in another country have to pay taxes to both countries. Thus, double taxation places an artificial impediment on the free flow of capital and other resources such as the services of technicians and experts between countries. Thus, double taxation is barrier which tends to keep capital within the national frontier and to prevent it from flowing freely over such frontier. The other type of double taxation is due to the same authority or taxing the same thing twice. There are mainly three principal ways in which double taxation arises. Firstly, double taxation arises when a company's profit is taxed before distribution and then the shareholders' dividend is taxed again. This type of double taxation can be seen in modern times. The same thing has been taxed before division and after division. Secondly, the case of double taxation by the same authority may arise when debtors and creditors are taxed both on the amount of a loan. Here the same man is not taxed twice, but same money has taxed twice. It is taxed twice because it belongs to two persons and does some work for both. The owner gets its interest on his loan and the borrower gets the use of it. Thirdly, the case for the double taxation may arise when capital and income are taxed. There is case of double taxation when a man's capital is taxed and then the income arising by the use of capital is also taxed. Here the income is derived from the capital goods, but the value of capital goods is derived from the income. Thus, it is again another case of double taxation. Moving on to the solution to the problem of double taxation. Professor Findlay Shiraz considered double taxation as an obstacle in the way of economical use of the world resources. According to him, double taxation is a barrier which tends to keep capital within national frontier and to prevent it from flowing freely over such frontiers. The problem of double taxation arises because of the different criteria adopted by the different nations in the matter of taxation. A country always wants to tax the income and other resources irrespective of what they are. That is why the problem of double taxation is an international issue. Avoidance of intra-country double taxation of centralization of finances. All taxes may be imposed by the central government and the tax proceeds allocated between union and states. Evolution of uniform tax criteria. The central government and the state governments may evolve through mutual negotiations a uniform set of criteria, and model legislation should be prepared by all governments. This can go a long way in removing the possibility of double taxation and infuse greater understanding and cooperating among various centralization of finance. In Switzerland, the Supreme Court has been authorized to determine the criteria for imposition of taxes to avoid the possibility of double taxation. In the arrangement governments, if any state suffers loss due to such an arrangement, the central government should make efforts to compensate it. Reciprocate tax agreements. If collective agreement aiming different states cannot be evolved, then double taxation can be avoided through reciprocal tax agreements. Number of American states and Canadian states has entered into reciprocal arrangements in respect of income tax and other duties. Exclusive assignments of tax jurisdiction. Another technique to avoid the double taxation is through specifying the exclusive tax jurisdiction of the union and the state governments. In this way, both of the authorities levy taxes without interfering with their tax jurisdictions and the possibility of double taxation. Avoidance of international double taxation. It is not very difficult to avoid double taxation by the same authority or by the different authorities in the federal countries, but if the taxing authorities are two or two governments, then avoidance of double taxation is not that easy. The following solutions can be adopted for the avoidance of international double taxation. Stipulation of the basis of taxation. There are generally two bases of taxation. One is the source of income and the other is the residence. If a person works in one country and earns his income there, the government of that country is entitled to tax him. At the same time, if the person is the citizen of another country, then the government of the other country also entitled to impose tax upon his income. Here comes the problem of double taxation. The avoidance of double taxation in such cases requires the stipulation of the basis of taxation either according to the residence or according to the place of origin of income or according to the location of property. Provision of bilateral reliefs. Under this method, the two countries decide to impose tax both on their respective subjects and foreigners earning their incomes within their respective frontiers. To avoid double taxation, they enter into an agreement for the provision of relief to their subjects taxed in the other country. Under this situation, the actual tax liability of an economic unit may be lower than that envisaged under full avoidance of double taxation. The net tax liability on an economic unit would thus turns out to be smaller than in case of full avoidance of double taxation. SAARC countries comprising of India, Pakistan, Sri Lanka, Nepal, Bangladesh, Bhutan and Maldives at 3 summit held at Dhaka in November 2005 signed a limited multilateral agreement on avoidance of double taxation in respect to the custom duties. Unilateral tax reliefs. When no bilateral arrangements exist for the avoidance of double taxation, a country may decide to provide a unilateral tax relief to its own citizens. India has entered into comprehensive agreements for the avoidance of double taxation of income with several countries with an effort to have similar agreements with many others. An important objective in negotiating tax treaties with developed countries is to stimulate inflows of capital, technology for accelerating economic development by removing tax barriers. Let us now discuss about the Double Taxation Avoidance Agreement, that is DTAA. One of the most heavily guarded jurisdictions of a country is its fiscal jurisdiction. Therefore, even in the age of globalization, double taxation continues to be an obstacle to the development of international economic relations. Nations are often forced to discuss and settle the claims of other nations by the means of double taxation avoidance agreements in order to bring down the barriers to international trade. Double tax treaties are settlements between two countries which include the elimination of international double taxation, promotion of exchange of goods, persons, services and investment of capital. Double taxation of the same factors would cause severe consequences of the future of the international trade. Countries of the world therefore aims at eliminating the prevalence of double taxation. Such agreements are called Double Taxation Avoidance Agreements, popularly known as DTAA, also termed as tax treaties. Objective. The objective of DTAA is to provide a settlement between the tax claims of the two governments, both legitimately interested in taxing a particular source of income. Firstly, they help in avoiding the burden of international double taxation by laying down rules for division of revenue between countries, exempting certain incomes from tax in either country, reducing the applicability rate of tax on certain incomes taxable in both countries, and the tax treaties help a taxpayer of a country to know with greater certainty the potential limits of his tax liabilities in the other country. The tax treaties ensure that equal and fair treatment taxpayers having different residential status, resolving differences in taxing the income and exchange of information and other details among treaty payers. Applicability of treaty benefits. In order to get the benefit of tax treaty, it is necessary to have an access to it. For that purpose, a person must qualify in terms of the treaty as a person, resident of nay of the contracting states, beneficial owner of the income by the way of dividends, interest or royalties for a lower rate of withholding tax. Indian tax regime. The Income Tax Act of 1961 governs taxation of income in India. According to section 5 of the ITA, Indian residents are taxable on their worldwide income and non-residents are taxed only on income that has its sources in India. Section 6 defines who may be a tax resident and contains different residency criteria for companies, firms and individuals. The ITA favors source based taxation as compared to the OECD model treaties or conventions entered into many developed countries that favor of evidence taxation. Next, we shall discuss about the Indian policy with respect to DTAA, that is double taxation avoidance agreements. Foreign trade with India should be relieved of Indian taxes considerably so as to promote its economic and industrial development. There should be coordination of Indian taxation with foreign tax legislations for Indian as well as foreign companies trading with India. The agreements are intended to permit the Indian authorities to cooperate with the foreign tax administration. Tax treaties are a good compromise between taxation at sources and taxation in the country of residence. India has comprehensive double taxation avoidance agreements with 79 countries. This means that there are agreed rate of tax and jurisdiction on specified types of income arising in a country to a tax resident of another country. Under the Income Tax Act of 1961 of India, there are two provisions which provide specific relief to the taxpayers to save them from double taxation. Section 90 is for taxpayers who have paid the tax to a country with which India has signed DTAA, while section 91 provides relief to the taxpayers who have paid tax to a country with which India has not signed a DTAA. Thus, India gives relief to both kinds of taxpayers. A large number of foreign institutional investors who trade on the Indian stock market operate from Mauritius. According to the tax treaty between India and Mauritius, capital gains arising from the sale of shares are taxable in the country of residence whose shares have been sold. Therefore, a company resident in Mauritius selling the shares of an Indian company will not pay tax in India. India has stepped into wide network of tax treaties with various countries all over the world to facilitate free flow of capital into and from India. Let us now summarize what we have learnt in this module. Some taxes are levied on and paid by those who carry certain possession or trade. Others may be paid by property owners and yet those who purchase certain commodities. These taxes are shifted and reshifted and ultimately their money burden and their real burden are diffused over the society in one or the other way. Double taxation, due to the plurality of taxing authorities, occurs either in a federation or as between the different independent countries. Double taxation are of two types. An important objective in negotiating tax treaties with developed countries is to stimulate inflow of capital, technology for accelerating economic development by removing the tax barriers.